Welcome into Camp Credentials, powered by Cox. Alongside Darren Urban, I'm Danny Srack, and in this episode, we're going to be breaking down the safety position. Darren, this is one of the position groups that has a good amount of experienced veterans returning. At the moment, it's one of the very few groups that doesn't seem to have a lot of questions as to who's going to make the final roster. When you look at the skill set of these veterans returning, how versatile is this group?
Well, I mean, part of the reason you have fewer guys on the roster right now is, like you said, I think they all have defined roles. I mean, Budda Baker is a Pro Bowl safety. You got Jalen Thompson, who everybody thinks is going to be a breakout safety. You've got Charles Washington and James Wiggins, who play big special teams role. Deontay Thompson has established himself as a solid backup safety. I mean, these are guys that you're comfortable with and are young enough that make sense on the roster. And then you have Isaiah Simmons, who technically is a linebacker right now, but has done a lot of work with safeties, and I think we're going to see a lot of back and forth with him and a lot of safety-esque play from Isaiah Simmons this season.
In fact, when head coach Cliff Kingsbury had his press conference earlier in the week and was asked about what position group does Isaiah Simmons fit in, he said linebacker / safety. And Simmons has been described as a hybrid player. Why does it make sense for him to be able to switch between linebacker and safety with this defense?
Well, I think there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, Isaiah Simmons, I think in a lot of ways is more comfortable further away from the ball than right up as a linebacker on the line of scrimmage. I think that's part of it. It's what he did a lot more in college. Even though he played all over the place, he was more of a rangy type, safety-esque kind of player. So I think, again, that goes back to comfort level. And I think it also goes back to the pieces they have on defense. Right now, they don't have a ton of cornerback depth. They have Isaiah, who can play some safety. They like their safety groups, and they like Nick Vigil, the other linebacker, to play with Zaven Collins. So if you're talking about getting your best players on defense on the field, I think Isaiah Simmons fits better in that hybrid type role.
Safety Jalen Thompson was saying how fun it is to have Simmons out there practicing with that safety group. Thompson did mention that as of right now, he is practicing with the mic in his helmet. Now, he did say the Cardinals have not finalized which player on defense is going to have that mic in their helmet to call the plays. However, that he has been one of those players since the spring, has been practicing with that, even though he does not have any experience doing that so far in his career. How unusual is it to have a safety calling the plays on defense?
I don't think it's incredibly unusual. There's other teams, the Rams, the Chargers, they've been having safeties or guys in the secondary calling out plays. I think it's kind of where football is going. I mean, traditionally you have that middle linebacker right in the middle doing all these things, and I know there's a lot of talk about whether Zaven Collins would do that or not, but I do think the Cardinals have options with the intelligence of Budda Baker, with the intelligence of Jalen Thompson, and being able to get those signals and calls to where they need to go. And I just think, again, when you've got a safety tandem like Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson, those are two of your best players. So why don't you ride them the best you can in all aspects?
We will have more coverage on every position on Camp Credentials and coverage covering training camp. Alongside Darren Urban, I'm Danny Srack. Stay locked in on azcardinals.com.